Okay, thank you.
So, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now we have a special guest from Nigeria. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce our next speaker. She is Umoke Ugochi, graduated from Ebonyi State University with a degree in Bachelor of Nursing, also Midwifery. So she'll talk more about all the other credentials she has. It's RPHN, I believe it's Public Health. And then what is BNSC? Sorry, can you share that?
But okay, BNS is Bachelor of Nursing Science.
North, sorry, what is N?
Bachelor of Nursing Science.
Okay, okay. So let's begin. So thank you again for joining me today. I was particularly interested in inviting you for this interview because of a personal connection. So my boyfriend is a graduate of mission school in Nigeria and is currently serving our church in Liberia. So this sparked my interest in learning more about the region. So could you share a bit about Nigeria? And since we're like nurses, I would want to learn more about the healthcare system. I'm particularly interested in how people access services, given that out of pocket cost can be a significant barrier in many places, including here in the Philippines. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Umoke Ugochi. I'm a registered nurse, a registered midwife, and a registered public
Wow.
health nurse. Okay, I just ventured into virtual assistance. I live in Nigeria, one of the countries in Africa.
Mm.
Okay, I currently work with the federal government and I've done some research works, which I posted the link on my LinkedIn account.
Yes.
Okay, so you said if I heard it clear, you said you want to know what assessing health is in the country, in Nigeria. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. Assessing health in Nigeria is easy. You can walk into any hospital. We hardly wait for appointments and bookings. We
Mm.
hardly do that. If you have an emergency, you can get into the hospital and you'll be treated immediately. The only time there may be need for bookings, if it's on your own, you want to be booked. That is when there'll be need for bookings, one. And then if the person that is meant, maybe the specialist or the physician that should attend to that particular case
Mhm.
is not around, then there'll be need for booking for you to meet that particular person, specialist that you want to see.
Mm-mm.
Then generally the healthcare due to poor staffing, which is a problem in most places, not just Nigeria,
Yeah.
due to poor staffing, there may be delay.
Mm.
There may be delay, and then the movement of from one department to another department, maybe from seeing the nurse, seeing the lab scientists, and different specialties. So
Mm-mm.
that is the only challenge we do have. The delay
Mhm.
is just the major challenge you do have. And I believe that if they should if they should involve virtual assistants, some of these delays may not happen. If it's
Mhm.
something a client or a patient can book from home or while on transit to the hospital,
Mm.
some of these delays can be avoided.
Yeah, I believe in that. That's why healthcare virtual assistants come come in to play the role of helping doctors have more time with the patient, with maybe helping with scribing, right, billing, and all administrative tasks. And I know you have also been into virtual assistants already from, yeah, last year, June, correct? And I
Yes.
believe you told me that you still do roles in person, and you have a very good background, like nursing manager in Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare of Nigeria. So you have a distinct position in the government, right? I mean, weren't there challenges with getting a job for a nurse in the government? Like my experience only with nursing was 6 months volunteer in a provincial hospital because after the 6 months training in the different ward, NICU, general ward, delivery, and what is delivery? What is that area that comes close with the delivery area?
Yeah, but postnatal.
Operating. Sorry.
Postnatal.
Yeah,
Postnatal. After delivery is
yeah,
postnatal.
also, yes, and also the operating area. After that, there wasn't a slot for me for the provincial hospital to absorb me. So I needed to find a way to earn, and I was privileged enough to be in a BPO where I can still practice my nursing as a medical summarizer for an insurance company. So that took a long time. That was my longest employment for 7 years. So going back, I think the healthcare system in the Philippines, um, of course, I think we have similarities, like you mentioned, delay with the services, maybe um, um, doctors really don't often visit hospitals, or maybe in the provinces, or they have other appointments set. So with us, I see there's lack of supplies also, medical supplies, and I wasn't able to, yeah, work in a government hospital. But that's just one experience I had. Now I tried applying back in the hospital, but I need to review basic foundation of nursing, and I was having a hard time passing the exam. So it's also a privilege that we can also work virtually or remotely as virtual assistant. And I've been in this industry for 5 years now, and now I'm also happy that I passed an interview with an Australian account, meaning it'll be in the morning shift. I mean, the night shift job has taken a toll on my mental health. So, with you working as a virtual assistant, were your clients from United States? I believe Nigeria has close time zone with the US, correct?
Okay. Okay, sorry for the delay.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
Okay. Virtual assistants and also in Nigeria. My virtual assistants were more into other areas that had really not much to do with nursing directly. Okay, so it had really not much, but then again, with the nursing skills I had, I was able to communicate well. I was able to understand when there's need to meet a head or a manager or to refer my clients. So it wasn't really fully into nursing, but with the skills I had, I was able to scale through in virtual assistance.
Mhm.
Then you said something about getting work in government hospitals and government establishments. During my own time, immediately after school, I volunteered. I
Mhm.
volunteered with a non-governmental organization, AMO. I volunteered with them. I want to volunteer with them when there's an opening, when there's a government opening. They do take it, they absorb people they're already working with that NGO.
Mhm.
So if you're working with them, whether as a staff or a volunteer, when there's an opening, the government to absorb you.
Mhm.
Then after that, I volunteered in a government hospital for 9 months.
Mhm.
Then, because of our voluntary services, there was an opening for employment, and we were lucky to be absorbed into the
Oh,
system.
wow.
And that was how I started my government work.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good exposure, and then they were able to absorb you to really be able to get a position, right? Yeah, I believe you have great credentials, and I want to talk more about, like, you were volunteering. I'm not sure how your pay is there in Nigeria with healthcare providers. You were working while studying, correct? For you to be able all this to get these credentials. How was it? Like, you're hustling really hard. You're a hard worker. Yeah.
So it was very difficult. It wasn't an easy time. But the thing is, most of the academic program they start for weekends for people that are
Mm,
working, which normally holds Fridays and Saturdays. And then if you're working and you want to study, you have to write, you have to apply to the government.
mm,
Then when you write to them that you want to go for study, if it's a weekend program, they're going to grant you that weekend program. So that during the weekdays, you're working during the weekdays, then during weekends, You can go for your
Wow.
school. Yeah, during
Wow.
weekend, you can go for your school. Then, when there is a need for an extensive time that is not weekend, for
Mm-mm.
an extensive duration, you have to write to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when you write to the hospital, if you haven't used your annual leave, we're entitled to 30 working days annual leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've not used your annual leave, you can use your annual leave to go for those extensive programs in
Wow.
school. Yes.
Wow.
So then, but if you've used the annual leave, they can give you, since they are where you are studying, they can give you some days extra, maybe casually, to go for those extra days in school. But it
Mm-mm.
wasn't the difficulty I had was the
Mm-mm.
distance from my place of work to my place of academics.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That was
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
okay. So that was my major difficulty, distance, and then funds, the funds.
Amazing. Like I really admire your passion, your desire to upskill, like continue to study. Um, nurses in the Philippines are actually being funded by parents with the goal to make us all go abroad. But at that time, I was grieving when my father died, plus a broken relationship. So I wasn't really focused on that dream already. And now I realize that the pay for nurses abroad is already like $85 per hour. Wow. And I was thinking, why did I allow my emotion to really like direct my behavior? Like I was really depressed, I was really demotivated. And I was just going to work just to earn and not really passionate about anything that time. But now with LinkedIn, like learning about leaders, posting about improving workplace environment, eradicating bullying, and I was so inspired with this nurse educator that has a lot of followers already, maybe 40,000. He has a lot of titles like you do, and I think he's really inspiring a lot of people. Like LinkedIn gave me a new perspective that I can still make a difference in the nursing industry, even I'm not working in the hospital. So, with your profile, looking at it, I want to help you with your LinkedIn banner if you want me to help you with that. And
Yes.
you have a very good profile already, because what I've advised my aspiring VA students, they just put what their job description here is, but sometimes I use AI to help us with more compelling job roles. So going back, it's now that I'm really inspired to improve myself with my nursing background, with upskilling, but in the tech part, because as a healthcare VA, I see the in-demand roles right now are medical billers and medical coders. So I just interviewed yesterday or this morning someone from Pakistan. He's actually graduate of masters in special education in teaching, but actually his job exposed him to billing specialist role and RCM role. And now I hear from clients they're looking for um RCM specialists like revenue cycle management. So I'm learning that as a healthcare VA, I did the front end already, scheduling, calendar management, um, calling patients. The back end part, I want to learn more about that, like the billing and the claims and accounts receivables. Are you knowledgeable already about this, the revenue cycle management, or do you desire to learn more about that, or still spend more time in person, like um your job roles in the government, or yeah, your affiliations outside?
Okay, for me, I'm knowledgeable about it, but then again, I'm someone that wants to go into education and research later
Mm,
in the future, and so I wouldn't say I'm knowledgeable enough. I'm always open to learn. I'm always open to read.
yeah,
I'm always
yeah.
open to gain knowledge.
Mm-mm.
So but then I had some knowledge on billing and management.
Pain management.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. billing and management, hospital management and billing.
Management. Since you are a nurse manager before, correct? Yeah. And I see that if I want to pursue also management role with nursing, I can study administration also, right? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of opportunities, free webinars online, but some I need to pay for it. Yeah, I was thinking if you really want to teach, you can actually do it also online with founding or establishing maybe like an academy. I call try freelancing, maybe something related to nursing education for you. um you can also opt with the in-person classroom, but I had this experience last time going to devotionals in church. I was with a nurse in the tricycle, and then I asked, "Hi, are you a nurse?" And then he said yes, and I got to learn the salary. Of course, it's low if you work in the hospital compared as a virtual assistant that you earn dollars. And then I was encouraging him, "Do you want to be a virtual assistant? Like, there's a company agency that could offer you $7 per hour." And then he said that I said I was like telling him I want to like help you prioritize your well-being and mental health. And then he said, "I'm just rendering um my last maybe 30 days resignation." And then he said he will be a clinical instructor. And I said, "Oh, I'm also curious about that. I know that we require masteral when you want to be a clinical instructor in the Philippines." And he said that someone will sponsor him in a university here. And I said, "Wow." But actually, my churchmate told me, you can just actually stay at home. I mean, if I have like salary or maybe savings, I can actually enroll myself to a masteral program too. But I mean, now I don't know, like I'm becoming a little introvert or like more careful with dealing with people. I mean, I absorb energy always and I need to put boundaries. Like staying home really
Yeah.
gives me more joy, spending time with my niece, walking walking in nature, enjoying playing with her. So yeah, I would think about teach. I'm actually having my read demo for a class as I want to teach also kids in English. When I talk to kids, I become joyful. Like we have the same energy. But sometimes old people, they are drained, they lose that joy. And as a healthcare VA also working at night, it's still demanding. You would be required to charge the patient's credit card. You would be required to schedule someone very, very fast. And I want to be like enjoying my nursing profession more laid back way. So, yeah, for you, I think you still want to do the in person, dealing with patients and possible students. Oh, no,
No, no, no, no, no, no. I would
that's
rather deal with
reality.
student nurses. I would rather deal with student nurses. I don't want to deal with patients. I feel for them. I think it's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting at the
Right.
end. Like you're
Yeah.
not seeing someone at the terminal stage of a disease, or you're not seeing someone that is going to be in pain, like in the orthopedics, that will be in pain for a prolonged time. You're looking at 3 months or thereabouts. So it's mentally exhausting. So that's why I wanted to leave the clinical practice and enter. I would rather teach students. And one of the reasons I wanted to go into
Students
lecturing,
students are also sometimes hard-headed, right? Like they have their behavior. Are you able to deal with them
I,
too?
I, I get it, but I feel it's they're healthy. Do you understand? The behavior I'm expecting for them is more of them to read their books and impact knowledge.
Yeah, so that's your goal,
Just
the
that,
desire to impart the knowledge.
yes.
Yes. But yeah, I will need to think about that more. So now let's talk about yeah, I was looking at your LinkedIn. I saw your qualifications here, right? So you mentioned that it was a hard time for you doing the job while studying. And where do you get this passion, this drive to continue learning more about the nursing, the healthcare industry, I mean, for me, I cannot already give bedside care since I'm not able to work in the hospital. And for me, I would rather choose my well-being now and mental health, and just being able to deal with the people I most love. I can reserve my energy for church work, ministry, and my family. So, yeah, I mean, it's a challenge for sure, but I feel like you're a resilient woman already. You've been through a lot. And why do you want to take more challenge for yourself? Like, for sure, it will stretch us, but why that route? Like, yeah.
My parents, my parents,
Oh,
my
wow.
parents, my parents. As far as I'm concerned, they always say if their what their parents, be my grandparents, provided for them was little, they had limited resources and they're able to both get their PhDs. So they expect me to get,
Wow, that's so
yeah,
inspiring.
yeah. So they expect me to get two PhDs. That is what they
Oh,
keep saying. That they're expecting me to get two PhDs in any field I intend going to. That they're not expecting one from me. And also they're expecting three masters from me since they already have two masters. So they're expecting three from me. So I have no choice than to keep pushing because I need to get to the level that they expect me to be. They have a lot of
yeah.
expectations for my own end. So I
Uh,
really need to. That is why I keep pushing.
wow.
That
So
my reasons to keep
uh-huh.
pushing.
I really admire your love
And
for your parents. That has been your motivation all your life. And you keep on excelling. You want to reach two PhDs like her parents. Yeah, I wish you all the best. Of course, God's providence for studying that. But what
thank
what
you.
do you say about the upskilling courses? It's really short courses that we can actually get. Sometimes we get promos like coaches or agencies having academies training for VAs. They can train people very, very fast. And compared to what's this conventional, like the program in the university, are you against those courses like Coursera compared to the structured program in school?
Okay, what I have to say about that, depending on the agency that is ranging those courses, some agencies are good, while some are not good. Now, if you want to enter those type of courses, I believe that research has taught people how education should be. And in this education, in this classroom, that is when we talk about group chats, group members, so that it helps students. You can ask your fellow students. And when you ask your fellow students, maybe you may understand it better than understanding it from the lecturer or from the teacher. So depending on the agency that is running these courses, the ones that are well organized will help you learn better. While some that are not organized and just going after the money you should pay for these classes,
Mm.
it may really not be encouraging to the students when they check the amounts they have to pay, and at the same time, job is not promised. There's no job
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
They finish looking
No
at
easy
it. They
job
may not
too.
really want.
Yeah.
They may not really want to go into it when they're looking at the cost and that they have nothing to learn. Just like the person that mentored me, God to bless her anywhere she is. She will always say, if you have any problem, send message to me. And if you don't get me, we have good admins that people she has given to us to ask them. So she always say, if you have any message, if you have any question you don't understand, in fact, even before you have an interview, she will tell you, if you have an interview, reach out to me. If I'm busy, I will look for who to refer you to guide you. So there's
Wow.
still, so in as much as the period I spent with her was very short, she still gave room for us to come back if we have anything or any challenge. So
Mm-mm.
that is, I think it's depending on the agency. So I don't really know for some, but just reading online and going for exams and upscaling, I don't know, I feel it's limiting. They don't give you a chance to explore more options.
Mm-mm. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, you are opening my horizon to how I can improve myself and level. I mean, the goal of nurses in LinkedIn are to level up how people look at nurses, correct? And thank you so much for inspiring me that once I have a budget set, I can, study more to elevate myself and to also encourage, help others, especially nurses, medical professionals, to elevate themselves. And another option I'm thinking about is USRN. So, yeah, it will require a lot of finances also if we would pursue that. But whatever opportunity we have, I believe we need to embrace them. And yeah, I mean, I just want to be like busy, yeah, improving. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, you were saying something about CSRN. USRN, I've thought about it too, but the cost, the funds are much. The exam, the professional exam is not even written in Nigeria. I have to travel for the professional exam. So
Oh,
it's
very
the cost.
far, very far.
Yes, it's not in Nigeria. They don't write. So you really have to, it requires a lot of funds. So
Mm-mm,
it's very challenging. And I feel that most Nigerian nurses haven't written the exams.
mm-mm. So we have about like 3 minutes. I'd like you to share insights as a nurse, like with your credentials. How do you influence nurses, medical professionals to elevate themselves through upskilling or studying? Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay, how I encourage them is telling them different options. Since I've been into the system and I've been successful in it, I give them alternatives. I tell them about the weekend programs, which will not affect your work. I tell them about the online programs, which you
Yeah.
can do from your house,
Yeah.
which you can have the
Self-paced.
class. So when you have this type of options, you have no reason apart from funds, which I understand. So apart from the funds, but if you have these other options of convenience, your timing and your scheduling, then I think that is my major thing I use in encouraging most of them. So
Mm-hmm.
when I give them these options, I tell them go for it. And no matter what, it's just a 2 years, 5 years, depending. So pick the one that is for me. There are a lot of options. So you have to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
I just a
Thank
lot
you
of
so much,
options.
Umoki. I would want to have a part two of
Mhm.
this. I want to learn more about, if not options in the Philippines, maybe options in Africa I can pursue when God willing we advance in a relationship. So I'm glad. I hope to see you when I come to Africa. That's my prayer and dream. And yeah, I'm glad to be able to learn more about Africa, Nigeria, Liberia, and building friendships with people there. Thank you so much. And for
Thank
all
you.
our viewers, for all the aspiring healthcare virtual assistant, please send me a message. I would love to give you time to help you with your CV revamp and your LinkedIn optimization. Thank you so much. Have a great day,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Bye.
I'm so happy being here. Thank you.
Bye bye,
Thank you.
Amaki.